Happy Saturday, everybody. I have lots of stories for you to cover today. Want to give people some time to get in here, but we have lots to talk about. Lots of crazy stuff in the Lone Star State. We want to start off with Greg Abbott signing the redistricting bill, which would give Republicans an additional 5 seats in the House of Representatives. So that's been signed into law. We have 5 other stories after that. A man sets a bunch of cars on fire in Houston. A man breaks into a home, cuts his arm. He tries to break into his home. The Second Amendment is not even needed because he died. We also have a crazy arm amputation story with a guy who hit a truck, lied to the police apparently, and video footage shows something different happened. He says the truck hit him, but that's not the case apparently, according to the video. What else do we have for you? A man threatens to kill all citizens in San Antonio if his money demands are not met. He's demanding money, threatening to blow up the city of San Antonio, essentially. Yeah, crazy story right there. And what else do we have after that? Home invasion leaves a mom and twin daughters shaken. This is a crazy story. A guy breaks into a home while the mother and her daughters are at home and steals a bunch of stuff, loads up a grocery cart. Yeah, crazy. We'll get into that. But first, let's start with Governor Abbott signing big, beautiful bill. Let me see what's up real quick. Give people some time to get in here. All right, we are live. Just want to make sure we're good to go. Thank you all for tuning in. All right, let's get started. From Texas Scorecard, Governor Abbott signs big, beautiful Texas congressional map into law. The redistricting plan makes Texas more red, adding 5 new Republican opportunity U.S. House seats. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has signed into law a Republican plan to make the state's congressional district map more red ahead of the 2026 midterm elections. Today, I signed the One Big Beautiful Map into law, Abbott announced on Friday afternoon, posting a video on X. The Republican redistricting plan adds 5 new GOP opportunity congressional districts. Republicans currently hold 25 of the state's 38 U.S. House seats. Recent legal actions clear the way for Texas Republicans to redraw district boundaries based on partisan political performance and increase the party's advantage in future elections to reflect voting shifts seen in 2024, which were massive, when President Trump won support from unprecedented numbers of minority voters. Abbott said the new map ensures fair representation. The governor also thanked all the legislators who stayed in the Capitol and got this law to my desk. Texas lawmakers passed the Republican redistricting plan last week on party line votes after House Democrats delayed the inevitable by breaking quorum for 2 weeks. We all knew this would pass. It was just a matter of everybody getting back to the Capitol because they really had no option. We knew that Democrats had to come back. They couldn't stay gone forever, and this bill was going to pass. They just delayed the vote. It's really that simple. Texas is now more red in the United States Congress, said Abbott after signing measure known as House Bill 4. Several Democrat-aligned groups filed legal challenges to the new congressional map before it was signed into law. Organizations include the League of United Latin American Citizens, LULAC. I remember LULAC when I was in high school, and I was actually a part of that group. The National Association for Advancement of Colored People, NAACP, and the Mexican American Legal Defense Educational Fund, and the Mexican American Legislative Caucus, a group of Texas residents, is also suing. Plaintiffs claim the new map is racially gerrymandered to eliminate minority districts required by the Voting Rights Act, unconstitutionally diluting the voting strength of minority voters and intentionally discriminatory. That's actually not really the case because some of these districts that are being created it creates 4 new districts for Blacks and Hispanic voters, and no white districts are being created. So there you go. Both Hunter and King repeatedly emphasized the new district lines were drawn based on partisan political performance, which the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled permissible, not racial data. State Senator Adam Hinojosa, hopefully I said that correctly, said the map represents a political shift in the state, including South Texas, which he represents. This is not a racial shift. This is a value shift. And no amount of shouting racism is going to change that. We have all seen the political shift in South Texas over the past several years. It came to a head this last election. I won my seat. President Trump won counties all along the southern border that had not previously voted Republican in generations, if ever. President Trump won with 55% of the Latino vote and doubled his support among Black voters where it was in 2020. So let's stop pretending that all this is about race. It's about values. It's about representation, real representation. The fact that we're redrawing the maps to ensure that as these shifts have happened and continue to happen, that all people are able to have representation that reflects their values, not their last name, not their skin color. I mean, the proof is in the pudding when you look at the numbers. The last election, 6.4 million votes in the state of Texas for Donald Trump in 2024. The southern border, the border counties shifted massively to the right. 55% of Latino vote here in the state compared to 46% nationwide. So when you have 55% of the vote in 2024 from Latinos compared to, 40-ish, 42% in Texas, and it goes over 10% towards Latinos, I think that's a shift in values or wanting proper representation. It has nothing to do with race. Yeah, so the map passed. The Republicans could gain 5 seats in the House, and it looks like other states are going to join on. Missouri, potentially Florida. Since blue states like Illinois and California had gerrymandered the heck out of their states. Same for Massachusetts. Yeah. All right, so let's move on to some wild stories here in the Lone Star State. There's always something going on in Houston. Multiple vehicles destroyed in suspicious Greens Point fire as investigations search for one man.
They're searching for a 30-year-old man accused of intentionally setting fire to his ex-girlfriend's 2 vehicles at a Greens Point area apartment complex last month.
So the flames spread and damaged 3 additional cars as well. Jalissa Garza live at the apartment complex where this happened. All right, Jalissa, do we know how this fire started?
Hey, Jacob and Alona, good morning. Well, we do know that this fire happened just before 3 a.m. on July 31st. We did speak with the Houston Fire Department's arson investigators who tell us that this suspect used an accelerant to start the fires on the 2 vehicles. Now, investigators identified the suspect as 30-year-old Ilya D. Lawson and shared the photo you're looking at right now from his driver's license. Now, video also shared with KHOU 11 shows the cars engulfed in flames. You see one car on one side, another on the other, and some other vehicles in the middle. Now, arson investigators say the 2 vehicles that were intentionally set on fire belonged to one woman who told us Lawson was a former partner of hers. So she's urging people to look out for red flags in relationships. Now, in the meantime, we did speak with the Houston Fire Department, who went into.
I wonder what happened. There's no excuse for this, but what caused this guy to act like this and to set a bunch of cars on fire?
The detail on how Lawson sparked these flames.
The defendant walked through an apartment complex and set fire to 2 separate vehicles. Both vehicles were owned by the same person, and the fires spread to 3 other vehicles.
Now, the fire quickly spread, as you heard, damaging the other vehicles that were nearby. Now, this case does remain under investigation by the Houston Fire Department's Arson Bureau, and investigators do say that Lawson has been charged with arson, but as of this morning, he has not yet been arrested.
Okay.
What a whack job. What a wacko. There's no reason to set anybody's car on fire. None whatsoever. So yeah, you need to be careful. You need to be careful who you're talking to, who you're dating. I don't know if you met this guy on a dating app or something, but you please look for the red flags, because People are crazy as hell, as you can see. Look, I've never been in a situation where I would want to set somebody's car on fire. Like, I've dated women in the past and things happen, things go wrong, you break up, and that's it. I've never once thought about setting somebody's car on fire. Yeah. But here's a look, the Second Amendment was not needed for this story because the window took care of it.
Breaking overnight in North Houston, police are investigating after a man was found dead while officers were responding to a burglary call in the Aldine area. Michelle Troy is live from the scene this morning along Bluebell Road near I-45. Michelle, we know that you just got some brand new information from police that police now believe the man was trying to break into a home.
Yeah, that's right, Trayson. Originally, this was being looked at as a possible homicide, but investigators tell us that is no longer the case. They now believe this man, as you mentioned, was trying to break into a home and cut himself on broken glass. They say when officers arrived, they actually found him down in the back courtyard of this duplex-style home surrounded by blood. Police have since cleared the scene, as you can see, but take a look at some video from overnight. We're told this all happened around 2 this morning, again here along Bluebell Road. Investigators say the suspect had broken a window trying to get inside when he cut a major artery in his arm.
Well, that's just too bad, isn't it?
Medical examiner confirms he died from blood loss right here at the scene. Police say the homeowners told them they did not know the man. Now, while officers were rushing to this call, one patrol car actually ended up crashing into a ditch near the North Freeway. Both officers inside were taken to the hospital with minor injuries, but thankfully they are expected to be okay. Now, back out here live again, police tell us this is no longer a homicide investigation. They are now calling the death accidental. Trayson.
I mean, hey, like I said, the Second Amendment was not needed here because the glass took care of the scumbag. You know, it's scary at 2 o'clock in the morning. That's one of my biggest fears, is having to deal with something like that, with somebody breaking in at night, hearing some noise. It's scary stuff. So always be locked and loaded. Have your doors locked. We'll get into more stories, break-in stories. I'm sorry. These things keep coming out of Houston. They happen all over the place in Texas, but Houston is where I see a lot of these wild stories like this for some reason. So there'll never be a shortage of content based on what we've seen in the past here. If you go through my channel, look at a lot of my videos, a lot of these stories come out of Houston. I don't know what's going on in H-Town, but yeah. Yeah, like I said, Second Amendment not needed here, and the glass took care of it. Here's another story. We're going on to our next one I told you in the beginning, I have 6 stories for you, so we're going on to the next one here. This is a wild story. This man here in DFW had his arm amputated because he apparently a truck apparently hit him. That's what he told the police. Videos may show another story.
Owner of an 18-wheeler at the center of a Dallas police investigation wants to clear his company's name. This week, police asked for the public's help to identify the big rig involved in a crash. The driver in the other vehicle lost part of his arm and says the 18-wheeler is at fault. Sophia Beausoleil is live from the newsroom to break all this down for us. Sophia.
Brian, the owner of the company, contacted us and says he reached out to police once he saw images of his truck and saw that police were looking for him. So he shared 2 videos with us and says he received it from a business nearby, which he believes brings more context as to what happened.
This week, we introduced you to Carlos Campos. The 26-year-old says he was driving home from work around 6 a.m. on Tuesday, August 19th, when he was involved in a crash with an 18-wheeler in the 5300 block of South Cockrell Hill Road in Dallas. Campos says he lost part of his left arm because it was out the window at the time of the crash. He claims the big rig swerved into him, and the driver of the 18-wheeler did not.
Look, when I was a kid, I was told don't put your arms out of a moving vehicle. Yeah.
Stop. Dallas police released an image of the truck to get the public's help.
And I'm really, really sorry about what happened to Mr. Carlos. I am really, really sorry, but my truck never hit his car. Never.
The owner of the truck contacted NBC5 and says he's been receiving threatening phone calls and wants to give his side of the story. He asked us to call him Enrique and not share his name or company because he's fearful for himself and his family. Enrique shared 2 videos he says a business near the crash gave him and believes it shows what happened.
You can clearly see on the video that my driver is traveling about 20 to 30 miles per hour in the middle lane, and you can clearly see his SUV coming from the back at a high speed, impacting the back of the trailer.
Enrique says his truck driver did not feel the impact because of the large load he was hauling and says he did not see anything on the side mirrors.
He's like, boss, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have any idea of what you're talking about. I really don't.
The truck owner tells NBC5 he and his driver spoke with Dallas police and gave investigators access to inspect his cab and trailer, which he says they found some paint from the other vehicle on the back of the trailer. Enrique believes the video clears up the situation.
And this afternoon, NBC5 reached back out to Carlos, the man who lost his arm, and he says he's sticking to his story and believes that the 18-wheeler was in the wrong. Now, Dallas police confirm investigators were provided the 2 black and white videos by the owner of the truck. Police say they are still working on this investigation.
All right. What do you think? Do you think the driver is at fault here? Or do you believe the truck driver is? I think that look, driving an 18-wheeler, somebody bumps you, it's a good chance you may not feel it. I mean, look, this guy was leaving work. He may have fallen asleep, may have been on his phone. Who knows what the case is, but he was not paying attention. He looked like he was speeding. Look, I don't want to make light of this situation, but there's a comment down there in the video, and somebody said he lost an arm and doesn't have a leg to stand on in court. I'm sorry. The comment sections are crazy of these videos. But I think that he is at fault here. I think that he's at fault. Unfortunately, it's something tragic happened to him. Now his life is forever altered. So yeah, sad situation. All right, now check this out. San Antonio man threatens to kill all citizens if his money demands are not met. This is wild.
Operation Kill All Citizens. That's a threat that one man is now facing charges for.
And police say he emailed 50 different people across the city, and that includes law enforcement, demanding money. KENS 5's Ronnie Accor is joining us live this morning with all the details, shocking details, Ronnie.
Truly shocking. In the affidavit, Vanessa and Audrey, it says that Martin Rivera Perez Gonzalez believed that the money was owed to him, including Crime Stopper fees, money from the city of San Antonio, dues that he believed they owed him, and funds from local media outlets. Police say in emails he wrote that if his demands were not met, he would begin what he called Operation Kill All Citizens. In the affidavit, it says that meant detonating explosives near gas lines and bombing vehicles belonging to SAPD, Park Police, the Bexar County Sheriff's Office, and the city. He also wrote that he would open gas pipelines, bomb a parking lot, and kill employees inside the garage. He signed the emails using his full name, provided an address where people could send the money, and used an email address that the affidavit writes was previously attributed to him. The affidavit also says that Gonzalez has a history of violent offenses and has a history of mental health issues. He now faces a felony charge of terrorist threat involving the intent to interrupt public service. Gonzalez is being held on a $75,000 bond. We're going to continue to keep you updated.
Yeah, you can't threaten to open up the gas lines and all this stuff and kill all the, everybody across the city because your money demands aren't met. I think it's just a simple case of this guy has some clear mental issues, history of criminal activity, and he went nuts. He was planning on going nuts. All right, another home break-in story. This is Houston again.
Up first this Friday.
A woman and her 2 daughters were at home while this happened. This is crazy.
Friday evening, a man forces his way into an apartment, all while the woman and her 2 daughters were asleep inside.
Yeah, the woman says she even came face to face with the intruder. Now she's living in fear that he might come back. She's talking to our Anieli Ruiz tonight.
Tonight, surveillance video captures the moment a man breaks into a Southwest Houston apartment while a mother and her twin daughters are asleep. Maria says the man turned on the light twice and headed straight for her daughter's bedroom. Thankfully, the teens were sleeping with her that night. She woke up after hearing noise. She says the man was loading up a shopping cart with her merchandise, snacks and drinks she sells from her home. That's when she came face to face with the man. When I asked her if she was scared,
My gosh, that is terrifying.
Terrified Maria confronted the man, asking why he was taking her things. Maria says he threw the cart at her, filled with goods, and ran. She called police, but the man got away with about $600 worth of goods. What scares her the most is what could have happened. She believes the man had other intentions because he went straight for her daughter's room, but got her stuff from the shop instead.
Creepy. Look at that creepy, perverted, you know what? This guy had to be watching this household, knowing that she's, looks like she's a single mother with 2 daughters. He may be watching her how she sells these things out of her home, seeing her go back and forth with these groceries from time to time, and was eyeing the 2 daughters. I think that's what was going on.
Ahora no se siente segura, señora? When asked if she feels safe, Maria says she does not. She says she's trying to move forward, but fear lingers. All she wants is for the man to be caught. Anieli Ruiz, KHOU 11 News.
Yeah, I would be afraid too. I would be very afraid if I were in her position and that happened to me, I'll be terrified. Like, what this guy is capable of. And I hope he's caught very soon, because I think he had other intentions besides those items that were in there. He went straight to the daughter's room, according to the video, according to what they said in this report. I mean, looks like maybe she kept the doors locked. Doors are locked, but he broke in anyway. But you can put just for your own safety, put other enforcements on your doors, just so people will have a tougher time getting inside of your apartment. I know I said I had 6 stories, but this one here is pretty crazy. I might do a full-length video on this for those who are not watching the live stream. But a man leaves a baby inside of a car. A Rockwall man leaves a baby inside the car, and the baby dies. This is sad right here.
A man charged in the death of an infant is accused of leaving her in a car for 8 hours. The 6-month-old child was discovered when the suspect picked up the baby's mother at a high school. NBC5's Maria Guerrero has more.
Say hi. That was just a beautiful baby, and she looked just her mama's twin.
Rockwall police say 8 hours passed before 6-month-old Remedy Eye Care Worth was discovered dead in her car seat. The loss compounded, family members say, by the man police accuse in her death.
That baby was considered everybody's baby. Joyful, beautiful. And when she cried, Cam could get her to be quiet. No matter just walking her, holding her, whatever.
According to police, Cameron Leichman dropped off the baby girl's mother here at Rockwall Heath High School, where she works, in the morning, and was then supposed to drop off the baby at daycare, but didn't. According to the baby's family, this was simply a horrible mistake.
He takes the child to and from daycare, picks her up, no problems. He's good with her. It's nothing bad I can say besides It was just an accident.
I don't know. How do you leave a child inside of a car for 8 hours? That's what I don't understand.
Before he's taken the child to daycare many times before,
and her other children as well.
According to the arrest affidavit, Leichman drove back home to Sunfish Road and returned to the school at 4:40 p.m. to pick up Remedy's mom. Only then did one of them find her lifeless body and call police. Medics registered the infant's temperature at 107 degrees. Family tells NBC5 the infant was in a rear-facing car seat, as is state law. Neighbors simply devastated.
Anybody with a soul and a mind, can you imagine? Can you imagine being at work all day, taking care of kids, because she's at a school, taking care of kids and your baby is dead?
A lot of people are gonna have their opinion about any situation when they're not in that situation. But at this time, it was an accident and it happens. Unfortunately, the family is trying to still cope with it and come to realization that she's actually gone.
Leichman is in the Rockwall County Jail charged with felony injury to a child. Maria Guerrero, NBC5.
And arrest records also show that Leichman has a criminal background that includes charges of evading arrest and another incident with charges of aggravated assault. And as Maria mentioned, he remains in the Rockwall jail at this hour. A Rockwall man.
Yeah, I don't know. That is a tragic situation. And it happens a lot in Texas. I'll make a separate video about this. It happens a lot here in the state. I don't think there's any excuse. I mean, look, I will not in that guy's position, but I don't see any reason how you could forget a human being inside of the car. I personally don't see how that's possible. I mean, how do you forget that? It happens far too often in the state of Texas. It gets hot here in the summertime, and it's very dangerous. I don't know. That's sad. Only 6 months old. Life cut short. Tragic for the family. Tragic. And there's another situation like this in Dallas or in Frisco, I believe. And the police believe it was intentional. But I'll get into that in a separate video. I'll talk about this and the other one. We'll look at some data here in the state of Texas for babies being left inside of vehicles in the hot sun. So yeah, I'll leave that right there. Covered all these stories for you. Keep you updated with what's going on in the state. Stories you may not have seen. Crime stories, crazy stories like men setting cars on fire because they're mad at their ex-girlfriend. Men breaking into homes and window being taken out by windows. Men losing a guy lost his arm. Blame the trucking company when it looks like it was his fault. Yeah, I'll leave that right there. Like and subscribe. Hope you enjoyed this. If you're just tuning in, feel free to go back and watch it from the beginning. Share, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see you next time. Thank you. Take care. Let me set my outro and we were good to go.